Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Chris, the mic guy, and today's video here, we are back once again with another side-by-side microphone review, this time coming at the request from Twitter by DSTheOriginal. Thank you so much. I picked up this Yeti Nano during Amazon's big sale, what do they call it, Prime Week, and Best Buy had it on clearance, matching the Prime Day sale price. So I picked up the Yeti Nano, and during that time, DS said I should compare it up against this Razer Seiren X, so that's what we're going to do here today. So let's take a look at these two microphones. We'll talk about some build quality, we'll talk about some audio differences, and we'll see how that works for you guys. Are you ready? Before we get started in our video here today, I do just want to give a big thank you to all the subscribers to this channel, and it's just been such an amazing growth pattern. As of the recording of this video, we were at 984, almost at that 1,000 mark, and I thank you all so much. Every like, every comment, every follow-up to these videos, I love so much. I appreciate you all. And again, I say this in each video, but if you guys have any live questions, any real-time information that you need feedback from that I haven't provided you from this channel, there are links to a Discord down in the description of the video. And also I stream on Twitch Mondays. What days do I stream now? Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays during the week. You guys can feel free to check me out 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Again, link to that profile down in the description of the video as well. Now, first thing I want to get started on today is the build quality of these microphones. Both of these, again, I think these are going in that budget price range, right around, that low $100 mark. You can get them on sale. Again, I think I picked up the Yeti for $70 or $80, and the Seiren X was right in that $100 price range, maybe a little lower when I purchased it. They're both plastic. The Seiren has a completely plastic grill. The Yeti X does have metal mesh around it. It does still have multipolar patterns and things like that. But again, these are no frills, nothing fancy or anything like that on them. I will say I do not like the bottom mounted USB connector. It is really difficult when mounting them to stands. Today you can see this kind of, normally I have my T-bar configuration for my side-by-side reviews, and I had to actually take that off and come up with a boom arm mounted to a boom arm so I could get enough space, because neither one of these would mount to my T because of the way the cables have to go in the bottom of them. So just one of those things. I don't like the bottom mount. I know it's for, trying to make them a little bit better form factor if they're sitting on your desk or something, but it makes it much harder if you're trying to add it to third-party accessories or anything. Same goes with the stands. Both of these come with very, very unique style stands. If you're trying to use these, you can't use these for any other microphones, basically. Yeah, obviously the Yeti is very, very specific to it with the side posts that screw into it. And then the Seiren X actually has this like threaded piece here. So technically you could mount anything that was 5/8 on this, but this actually threads off, and this part is worth nothing. If you lose this little adapter, your stand becomes worthless and you can't even use your own microphone on it. So one of those things that I wish there was more standardization from these brands in this styling or in setting these things up. But I can't blame them, but I don't personally like it. It's just one of those things that I like being able to adapt. I like being able to do custom creative things. And when you make it this hard to do that, it just makes things difficult and it makes it not enjoyable. As far as features on the microphone, they do both have 3.5mm outs, again mounted on the bottom if you wanted to use them for live monitoring or for your PC audio to come directly from the microphone. You can route it that way if you want to. They do have mute buttons built onto the front. I'm going to test the Seiren X mute button and show you how that sounds, if it makes an audible click or not when you push the button. So let's do that. And now we're going to do the same exact test here with the Yeti. I'm just going to push this mute button, and I want to see if there's an actual like pop noise or an actual audible, something that the viewer or whoever's listening to your content could notice if you're muting the microphone, or if it's just a very, very subtle on and off. So let's do that again with the blue. Okay, so I did that on and off twice with both of those. We'll figure out in post. Again, I'm not monitoring. I don't know exactly what that sounds like, but we'll see. And I'll give some comments and feedback on that later. Outside of that, they do both have knobs built into them, but as far as I can tell, like I spin these knobs both left and right, they are not impacting the volume, at least from straight in on the software. So if the volume is impacted somehow, it's going to be the third-party software, or it is only adjusting possibly headphone volume or something along that line. That's going to be my suspicion, is that this is directly impacting monitoring volume or your headphone volume in that aspect. Now, in terms of polar pattern, these are both cardioid. In one instance, the Yeti does have the option to go to omnidirectional, which is actually a nice setup for those of you that are doing a multi-person podcast, you're doing singing or anything like that. Having that omnidirectional can be kind of nice. You can do a duet or something like that. Again, I don't like being far away from these microphones, so I mentioned podcasts in the beginning there, but I think it would be really hard to have two people sitting in a room. Like, I feel like you and the other person would have to be sitting right on top of each other to make that work right. So I don't know if that's necessarily the best use, but it could be useful for certain things. If you're hanging it from a ceiling or you're doing something creative with your microphone, omnidirectional would be a good use. So I'm going to test the Seiren X, just doing a rotation around it for the polar pattern, and then I will do the exact same thing for the Yeti in cardioid and then also in the omnidirectional. So here we go with the Seiren first. We're just going to rotate to my right, camera left, and we should get to I'm going to go a little past 90 degrees to see what that sounds like. I don't want to go all the way behind it today. I'm not worried about that much of the noise rejection. We're just going to rotate a little bit here. Now, this microphone does have a very solid side on it, so that should help with some of our rejection. I don't know exactly, being at 90 degrees here right now, this is still pretty open, so I suspect you'll still get a lot of audio in here, a lot of noise going into the capsule, but it's going to be, you know, from the sides. It's not going to be direct on. I again, don't know exactly what this is going to sound like yet. We'll find out in post to let you guys know there. You guys will be discovering it at the same time, right? So that is your Seiren X, rotating back to the front here, back to my normal audio levels. And yeah, let's do the Yeti next. So this is the Yeti in the cardioid polar pattern right now. Actually, the whole beginning portion of the video here, I looked behind it and apparently it defaulted to omnidirectional. So the first part of the video was in omni. So we'll see how the rest of that goes. I'm going to leave it in cardioid for the remaining portions. So we're going to do our rotate to the left here, my left, camera right, and just see how that pans across with the cardioid polar pattern. So I'm going to rotate same kind of way I did with the if I could talk today, with the razor over there. So I'm now 90 degrees on the side of the microphone, just kind of here chatting to it. I should have started to taper off. You should see some coloration. Definitely almost gives me a sort of robotic tone maybe. I'm not again, not listening to it, don't really know. And I'm going to go to about 125 degrees. I'm not going to try to get 180 behind it and just show you guys what that sounds like. So then we're going to do the same exact thing. I'm going to go back to the front here, and then there is a little toggle switch right here on the back that should change my polar pattern. So let's go ahead and hit that. And now we should be on the omnidirectional polar pattern once again. I'm going to rotate around here, and I would hope that we would see a lot less coloration, because omnidirectional, I should be picking up the audio all the way around the microphone now. You should hear me the same volume no matter where I'm going, as long as I'm keeping the same distance. That just determines on whether or not the omnidirectional pattern or the omnidirectional setup is doing the right thing. So again, Yeti claims this to be a great feature, having multi-patterns built into their microphone. Is it usable? Does it change the audio from when I was using the cardioid portion? Now, the next portion of this test, I'm going to do a plosive test using my Rode metal mesh pop filter here. We're going to do a right in front of these microphones. I'm going to get up close and personal to them and talk to them like I want to inhale them almost and see exactly what happens. I don't suspect that either of these microphones will do fabulous. The Yeti does have a slight amount of additional thinner style mesh inside of its main mesh grill here, but I don't think either of these have foam on the inside of them. I haven't disassembled them to look yet, but I'm not aware of them and I can't visibly see. So we're going to go ahead and do the Seiren first again. Peter picked lots of peppers from Paul's patch. Now with our pop filter. Peter picked lots of peppers from Paul's patch. Onto our Yeti Nano. Peter picked lots of peppers from Paul's Patch. Peter picked lots of peppers from Paul's Patch. On the meters, I did notice that the Yeti didn't seem like it clipped nearly as easily, so maybe that metal mesh, so I have the main metal outside, and then I have a real thin metal mesh. It almost looks like my Rode filter, so that could be acting as an additional windscreen to help block out a bunch of that sound there, to help the Yeti keep from getting too bad on pops and plosives. But again, I hate repeating this, but I'm not listening, so we'll see what it sounds like when we get to the editing portion of the video. And we're rolling into the very end here, guys. I don't have a whole lot left to say. I want to keep these videos simple. If you guys want full details on them, check out other videos on the channel here. I should have one up already for the Razer Seiren and then the Yeti Nanos coming in the future. But those will give you the full down and details and the nitty-gritty about each microphone with visual looks and all kinds of stuff. This is just intended to be a side-by-side comparison, so that way you guys have an opportunity to determine which microphone would best fit into your audio environment, which one you think you liked more, how you want it to work. And again, no filters, no changes, no processing done to the audio. What you guys hear is what's coming out of these microphones. Not much left to say. If you guys enjoyed the video here today, please give me the honor of giving me that thumbs up. If you guys really like the content that's been coming out of this channel recently, subscribe. Love you guys for all of that. Again, thank you to all of my supporters. You guys have been absolutely amazing. With that, I'm going to sign off for the day. Can't wait to get my next set of microphones here on the stands, or maybe we'll get a single one for the Yeti Nano specifically. You guys tell me in the comments below what you guys want to see. Other than that, we'll see you guys next time.